So this is SISYPHUS, my first ever self-produced single, out now. So first, the way that the SISYPHUS concept was born, first I made the track just off a whim. I just found a sound I liked and I just ran with it. And when I first produced the track, just instrumental, I named it The Internal Scream, because it just, to me, it represented and like reminded me of that, like, people go through life no matter how they try to act like they're good, or even if they are good, like everyone has an internal scream that comes with just like functioning in life. And that's what the track reminded me of. So one day we were having a conversation, probably like a week or two after I made the track, and we were talking about the Greek myth Sisyphus, which is a king who was punished by Zeus to roll a boulder up a hill for the rest of eternity, basically. And every time he rolls the boulder to the top of the hill, it rolls back down, and he's just cursed to push it up the hill on a loop. And I kind of took that metaphor and took the internal scream concept that I already had and kind of merged it to create this escaping the matrix, trapped in society concept that the song is about. So getting into the lyrics, first off, the first verse, which I call the announcement verse, because it's kind of announcing the concept to you. My voice is overlapped in a way where you can't quite hear what I'm saying. And I did that on purpose to represent the fact that it's not a concept that everyone clearly understands. It kind of goes over some people's head, the concept of the matrix and truly being trapped in society. So yeah, the confusion of it is intentional. Starting off, I say humans of Earth, participants of society. Starting off, humans of Earth, participants of society. I'm talking to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen is not everyone, and everyone has to go through the daily toils of being human. So start off there. Let me enlighten you of your Sisyphean task. So a Sisyphean task is like used to describe like an endless or pointless job. That's like meant to be maddening and like fruitless. In an infinite amount of ways are you trapped? Are you trapped? I say it twice because the second time I'm asking you. The first time I'm telling you, like, in an infinite amount of ways are you trapped, but then I say, are you trapped? And it's kind of a way to trigger the listener to actually thinking about it. Like, I'm not just telling you, I'm asking you. Like, it makes you reflect on your own situation, your own life, and I want you to stop and think, like, me? Am I trapped? Like, are you trapped? The fake shackles born through the restrictions of society. So this is one of my favorite lines. The reason that I say the fake shackles born through the restrictions of society is because society has a lot of rules and a lot of restrictions and things that are made up, for lack of a better word. And the reason I say they're made up is because they differ based on your location, based on the generation, based on what's socially acceptable at the time. And that's why I call them made up. And I call them fake shackles because people bound their life to these rules like they're, end all. So yeah, fake shackles because, yeah. And then I said in between the absurdity of human existence as already known. So Sisyphus itself is a metaphor for the absurdity of human existence, the daily struggles, the endless toil, the repetitive, like day after day type of thing. And the reason that I said those two phrases together is basically to say, like, life is already hard as is. For humans, life already exists in a way that everyone has to go through stress and heartbreak and pain And on top of the restrictions of society, just to make it harder, really. Then I say shout out to those of margin whose boulders are twice the size or hills twice as steep. As shout out to those of margin is marginalized groups is who I'm talking to. I always say, as a Black woman especially, I have to work twice as hard for half as much. That's why I represented marginalized people's boulders and hills as twice the size or twice as steep. So the second verse, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I need to get a deep explanation into the second verse, but it represents the loop of day to day, the loop of wake up, go to work, eat, sleep, wake up, go to work, eat, sleep, get a paycheck, pay the bill, get a paycheck, pay your bills, get a paycheck, pay your bills. Day after day, all work in vain, the journey up the hill remains. Do all the right things, but carry the weight. Day after day, the hill still remains. Do all the right things, but carry the weight is my way of saying, like, even when you do all of the things you're supposed to do, all the right things, right? You get your diploma, you get your degree, you get a good job, like, you still carry that weight. Like, it doesn't break you free. It doesn't give you that freedom that you're told it's supposed to. Especially in the time we're in right now and the way the economy is right now, I think it makes that line all the more relevant. So the final verse is kind of like, it's kind of like passing it off to you now. Like, I've told you the concept, I've explained it, right? You've got a good idea of it. Now, what are you going to do about it? So I say there's a decision to be made. Will it be broken? Are you too broken down into submission? Will it be broken is, will the cycle be broken? Will the loop be broken? Will the matrix be broken? Or are you too broken down into submission? Meaning, you know, does society have its clutches in you? Like, are you too conditioned to the way you're supposed to be, to the things you're told are right, to the things you're supposed to do? Everyone's supposed to follow this guideline. Are you broken down into submission so much that even if we arrive at Freedom Station, will your fake shackles keep you chained, or will you get off? And that's the last line is, if we arrive at Freedom Station, will you get off, or will your shackles keep you chained? So yeah, that's the lyrics. That's how the concept came to be. So the first reason being, it was the first track I ever, well, not the first track I ever made, but it's the first self-produced track that I ever put out there. So I wanted the track to shine. Also because I feel like the track kind of spoke for itself in terms of the concept. It's kind of crazy, and it gives that, like, the vibe that it's supposed to. And I didn't want a whole developed melody on top of it, because normally when you listen to music, that's what you remember. Like, that's what gets stuck in your head. That's what you sing, right? It's the main melody. And I didn't want it to take away from the track. So the way that I chose to do the vocals was just to purely explain the concept and to create the world, to make sense of the world that the track already existed in. No, this one came pretty easily, actually. Like, with every other project or song that I ever work on, I have so many things that stop me from releasing it, so many unexpected challenges. And as crazy as it might be to say, like, I really didn't have that with this one. I knew the track was special when I finished it, and I purposely didn't touch it until I developed the concept, and I was like, this is it. Like, I didn't touch it, I didn't play with it until I, like, fully had the vision ready and I knew what I wanted out of it. it just happened pretty quickly, and I had a lot of fun making it. I think just the genuine excitement. Like I think it would like take them back a little bit because it's like they weren't expecting what they got. And so I always got a very genuine, like excited response, like, wow, like this is cool, like this is deep, like this is unique. I was happy about that because that was my goal with this one. I knew it was different, and people tell me that it's different a lot, but not in a bad way, I don't think. I've gotten a lot of, wow, this is different. This is cool. And that's what I thought when I was making it. So I'm glad that people felt the same way. Yeah, not singing. Like barely. I like I said, I wanted the vocals to only add to the world that like the track already kind of made for itself. And I knew pretty much off the bat that there would be very minimal singing. And um so yeah, like other than that kind of loop verse, I think it's like 2 bars. I repeat it. That's it. Like, cause people listen to music usually to sing the song. You know what I mean? Like to sing along. And so I would say that's definitely my biggest creative risk with this one, but I don't regret it at all. Um, there was something I had written that was like along the lines of the pressure to follow the path of those in control. Who's in control of you? Something like that. And it was kind of to give the same vibe of, in an infinite amount of ways, are you trapped? Are you trapped? It was kind of supposed to provoke that same like who's in control of you type of thing. But I didn't think it hit the mark. So yeah, it didn't make it in. So something that I always do, which people who like know me creatively know this about me, but and I don't know if it's a bad thing, but when I'm in the middle of creating, like I'm in the middle of a creative process, like I'm actively brainstorming ideas for something that I'm working on, I don't allow myself to look at any outside inspo or reference or anything, because I think that what can happen sometimes is you can not copy but kind of cross contaminate ideas, which isn't a bad thing at all. But for me, when I'm focused on keeping something really authentic and I want it to be like my most original idea, if I have an idea or I show someone something and they're like, "Oh, you know what this reminds me of?" I'm like, "Save it till I'm done." Because I don't want my mind to fall into that idea. I want to stay focused on like whatever paths my brain was already taking creatively. So yeah. My biggest artistic weakness is that I stress myself out and I work myself up over the smallest things constantly. And I'm very impatient. So if I have an idea, if I have a vision and it doesn't come out how I want it to come out, like the first or second time, I get pretty flustered pretty quick, honestly. It's a problem. And like too much. Like it's not that deep, girl. Calm down. You'll figure it out. And I always do, but I always stress myself out first. And I'm really, really, really hard on myself. So I a lot of time don't give myself the credit or mercy that I probably should. Chaos. Chaos where there's supposed to be order, you know? Like it's like society in the Matrix, like it's supposed to bring order to how things work, but you're supposed to feel crazy. You're supposed to feel crazy, trapped, confused, chaos. Yeah. So I think that it kind of sets me up to continue making kind of weird music. Weird in a good way though. Like not You know, it's not your average pop radio, what's trendy, but it's me. That's the best way I can put it. I want to share my creativity, not just create something to be consumed. And I always say that as much as I want everyone to enjoy my music, and it makes me so happy when, you know, people genuinely do enjoy it, at the end of the day, I'm making it for me. So I want to just keep making music that I love and I think represents my, like, who I am as an artist. With this song specifically, not that much. With I can tell you some funny stories about some other songs that completely changed in concept and lyric and tone and key like a million times. But yeah, this one was pretty consistent start to end, which is very unusual for me. It's very uncharacteristic of me. And it's kind of a boring answer. The last thing was just changed the reverb, the type of reverb that was on the lead vocals in the singing verse, and that I was like, oh yeah, that's it, it's done. This is the one. But kind of a boring detail. Well, thanks for watching. This is the Sisyphus concept and lyric breakdown. Streaming on everything now, so go check it out.